Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about why I find myself even in my 50s with no friends. So I have chosen a life of solitude over community or friendships, and the reason why I made this very difficult decision. And I have no regrets, if I might say. When I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, I had friendships. I believe friendships were more meaningful in our 20s. We all wanted someone to call our friend. It gave us a sense of belonging, someone to talk to and share connection with. Personally, I was one who wore my heart on my sleeve. I told my friends everything about my life, and I mean everything. I overshared as I felt this was the way to create meaningful emotional connections with people. Especially as an immigrant living in the United States with no family around, I think this made it 10 times worse for me. I joined an African church community here and I immersed myself with various groups, trying so hard to form a bond. So I socialized and went to events around town with people in my community. I was a people pleaser without even realizing it. I opened up a lot in these groups, even to my own detriment. There was a lot of innocence on my part. Then, in my mid 40s, I started to see that I had accumulated a lot of trauma and pain over the years. With all my giving and generosity, I still could not completely count on anyone to be there, absolutely there for me when I needed emotional support. These relationships were very superficial. To make matters worse, I was a single parent. In some ways, I did not fit in. In my culture, too, marriage is revived. So I noticed that the women my age who were married were granted even more special treatment. They constituted 90% of the demographics at the church. People became cautious of me as a single mother and a single person. This made me feel like I did not fit in and could not belong. And this became something most people never talk about, and people around my own age group. There are challenges that single women face in the church that is never talked about. I know that they say churches are hospitals for people who are spiritually unwell, but I tell you, if you are not careful, you can be broken. It can be toxic. People are people wherever you go in this world, and my heart goes out to pastors, for they have to be counselors to these people. When I got into my 50s, I began to see that human beings are one of the most complex kind of people in the world. You quickly realize that people are not going to be nice to you just because you are nice to them. You can people can dislike you just because, for no reason. They can dislike you just because you're moving ahead of them. Jealousy is a big factor. As you get older, you will begin to see the spirit of discernment and you begin to see what's going on, and the spirit of discernment will come in. And people also change over time. So they might be good to you today, but then the next time you see them, they are in a bad mood and it's a totally different story. This also happens in the workplace, so it's not exclusive to churches. People project hate through, forming connections with other people. They form allies, and they can start a smear campaign against you if they are that determined to bring you down. They don't want to fight you alone, so they recruit others, right? This can cause a lot of trauma and pain. And as soon as I found out what was going on in my case and the effects and damage this was causing me, I had to start moving away from people. I moved out of state at one point to a more quiet community. I found peace. I enjoy my solitude. I am closer to nature. This solitude is not lonely. I am not lonely, by the way. I have to make that very clear. It is a very refreshing feeling to be in your own space and to have time to do the things that you've always wanted to do without trying to please other people. I relish the simple things. Now, no one worries about my life, and I don't worry about theirs. I feel like I flourish so much more when I'm by myself and in my own thoughts and able to pray more and just focus on the Word of God, which is my strength and gives me a lot of comfort in times of trouble. I also believe that friendships are overrated. As I got older, of course, I got wiser. You have to choose yourself. You always have to make it a point to choose yourself, because if you don't do so, no one is going to choose you. I also used to believe that once you got married, all of that problem and loneliness would be solved. But I eventually got married. I have a child. And I tell you this, sometimes a happily ever after are just fairy tales. I have realized a few things about happiness and how fleeting it can be. Today, I find joy in the simple things. Simple things like coloring, painting, walking out, going for a stroll in a trail, swimming, reading books, traveling. Don't get me wrong, it is a dream to have a best friend.